So, here we go. Welcome to my live stream. Thank you, thank you. I just said a few things. Today we're going to be drawing Raghunath Cappo. I did see your comments eventually. Yes, thank you for being here. Kia ora. Karina, Cheryl, Kiki, Rachel, Linda, Sabra, Tommy. That's why I got to Sabra. I was like, yeah, no sound. What? Uta, Elizabeth, thank you, everyone. Thank you for letting me know that I had no sound, which is very interesting because Raghunath, a lot of the, the the power and the teaching of what he conveys is through sound. So what an interesting way to start this. And I'm glad that Sabra can lip read. Sabra, how was your live stream? Everyone go check out the replay of Sabra's live stream. Raghunath Kapul is an amazing teacher, a yoga teacher, a bhakti teacher, the path of devotion, and is the singer of the hardcore band Shelter, which is a Hare Krishna band of devotees who go hard in their worship, and yeah, pretty inspiring. Lisbeth could lip read, but not a clue. There was no context. Well, now there's context. I've said part of the things I was saying. Yeah, so let's just start drawing, shall we? I had also said something about we've been drawing every day since the 1st of December as we were heading in to the solstice, and now we're around equinox time, and we've been working with shadow shapes, which is really interesting. I'm glad that the chat got so busy. Maybe I should intentionally have the sound off just so that everyone starts chatting in the chat. Thank you for informing me that you could not hear me. Let's draw Raghunath Kappo. And if you would like to tag me and find Raghunath on Instagram, there we have it. Oh yeah, and this piece is one that I did a while back. I did a series of acorn ink portraits of yoga teachers, and I particularly like this one, and I have it hanging on my wall, and the sense of devotion and love and connection that comes through in just this still image of Raghunath singing. I was moved by the reference, and I still really enjoy this piece, which I painted years ago. So let's see what we do today in the next 20 minutes or so. I will come over here. I'm going to be drawing with some pencils, Inktense pencils, and little corner. You're so excited for the drawing. Isn't it amazing reference? I just shared it to the Discord server, which I hope everyone has joined because it's really good. Hello, Annette. I'll put in a 10-minute timer. See what happens in that first 10 minutes. That is very bright. And yeah, see how we go. Let's go. Let's draw together, everyone. Drawing every day. Some things have changed in my settings. Normally my setup has sound and would be right there. And also like the crop of my head. Something is different. But that's all right. Ulverine, welcome. Thank you for being here, everyone. Let's draw. So, equinox, shadow shapes, devotion, prayer, living presence. What are the Hare Krishna, the names of the divine? So many things to talk about. But how's everyone doing? How was your day? It's nice to have you here. However your day is, however you're doing, whatever's going on, I am constantly challenged and delighted and grounded by having children, because whatever's going on, I've got to be present with them, even if they don't want me to be. It's interesting. It's good to have them in my life in many ways. that is a lot of there is certainly devotion there. And to think of the act of parenting sometimes as a spiritual path of learning about myself, learning about them, learning about many things about the world. There have been joyful, blissful moments today, and there has been conflict, and it's a very interesting microcosm to exist in. And rabbits. Our rabbits have been reunited today, post-operation, which has also been interesting, rich with conflict. No sound? Wait a minute, Lydia. Can people tell me that I have sound? It looks like I have sound. To me, I see sound, and it's green, it's lighting up, and I would like someone to say, hey, there is sound. Do other people hear me? Good. Good, good, good. That's a relief. I've been doing things today. I said yesterday and the day before that tomorrow I will send out an email to my mailing list about my shadow shapes workshop on the weekend. But I managed to get other things done today, but I did not manage to get that done today. But that is coming. I would love you to join my mailing list. The link is in the description, up the top of the description. There is a link to join my mailing list because Saturday, interestingly, as I did winter solstice themed workshops moving into the darkness in December, and now it's equinox again, and I'm focused on shadow shapes, and I would like to expand beyond shadow shapes and think of it as value shapes. So that is what Saturday's workshop is going to be about. It'll be a ticketed event, €19, and you get access to the replay as well. You can also buy a ticket if you can't be there, but you can watch the replay. And we will spend a couple hours together talking to each other and exploring value shapes and recognizing and celebrating the shadow and the light in our reference and in life. It's bound to be a wonderful evening. So I think 8 p.m. Saturday, my time, in my Zoom room. I would love to have you there. And it's going to be a 2-part series. And potentially, I need your feedback on this, but 2 weeks after this weekend, also on the Saturday, I'll do a second shapes workshop, and I'm thinking about doing it with Procreate, because looking back on some of my Procreate pieces that I did, it was all about shapes. So I'd really like to know from you how many of you would be interested in a Procreate focused shape recognition study session workshop, because I think it would be really cool, but I wonder how many of you, because I'm not known for my Procreate, but I'll show you some of my pieces in a moment, because the way I use Procreate is all about shapes. So there's some super dark, like super bold shadow shapes here. There's under the chin, which is giving this really great definition under the jaw. The eye area has this super nice dark bold shadow shapes. And if we look at it in terms of different like varying intensities of shadow and value. We could have like, I'll go with a heavier outline for where I'm seeing like the really dark shapes. Oh, interesting, even up in the forehead here, it's quite dark. But here, under the nose, bit of a highlight above the lip, that's nice, and then the lip here, corner of the mouth. All of these shapes are just, this reference is so wonderful. The shapes are beautiful, really helpful. Something interesting that came up in the mentorship conversation yesterday with references that at first may seem like this looks really complex. It's a gift when there is a lot of information, because it can really help you find your way around when there are a lot of things to draw, as opposed to when it's really light and a lot less detail to hold on to. Nice dark shape over here. Sabra, how was your live stream? Bonsoir, Isidore Atour. No, Linda, you didn't make it to my Tuesday anniversary. You know what? It's okay. There will be more. I would have liked to have made a really big party out of it, but I wasn't able to. I just didn't have like the capacity to hype it up, and it was just kind of like, oh, by the way, 5 years today. So it was like as wonderful as every other Tuesday, but although it would have been nice to make it like a special event, it was as special as it always is. But that's all right. Your regret at missing it is noted and appreciated. Sabra, you was great. I was great. You are great. So much burnt sienna. No yellow ochre. It's banned here. I'm hanging out for that baby poop yellow ochre live stream. I would like it. So by the way, everyone, even light yellow ochre is surprisingly dark, deceptively dark. If you're thinking, hey, yellow is light, I'm going to use this color as my light color, it's not a light color. It will trip you up, maybe, like it did me last week. All right, I've got a minute left of the first 10 minutes, and I feel like this is cool. Just like establishing these shapes, and then I will go in and fill some of those shapes to varying extents. So I haven't gotten out my mailing list, and I haven't listed the workshop on the price and on my website, and I haven't been promoting the next round of the mentorship as much as I would have liked to do everything, because I have been working on putting together a quote, an offer for a kind of like a street art workshop for teenagers, and I had to. It was slightly overwhelming. Not the kind of work I usually do. I had to collect a lot of information about how much the things are going to cost. Each thing, like an itemized list, how much do all the things that I need cost, and what things do I need, and how much of each, and all this stuff. It was not what I usually do, and it really filled me. And I submitted it today, and I hope it's going to work out. If so, in a month I'll be doing this cool painting workshop with some cool kids, no doubt. But now I can spend the next few days doing all the things that I said I was going to do in preparation of the workshop, amongst other things. I really like this. I kind of feel like there are some things, I think the broadness of the head, like I squeezed in this eye a bit, some things that make it look not quite like Raghunath, but I like it. Lydia, sound is back. Oh yes, if there's no sound, apart from when I don't have the microphone switched on, I don't know. I don't know why that didn't work. I wonder if one of my kids came in and changed stuff. I can just blame them. But if there's no sound, you can refresh the feed. Just refresh the page, and maybe when you come back to the stream, there could be sound. That has happened for some people yesterday. We have a conversation to continue from Sabra's live stream, looking for my input. We discuss why is it that we as artists rarely like our own work, just looking for my wisdom. Shannon has some things to say about this. Little Corner is going through an art block, but man, my daily live stream is helping you get back to drawing. I'm so glad to hear it. That is so good. I'm happy to be able to make some of the decisions. What am I going to work on? What am I going to do? I can make those decisions. I'm doing it every day. I'm like, look at this amazing image. Let's work on this. Sabra, Linda loved your stream. Yes, Linda, we were meh about our works, and we need my rational and optimistic brain to offer insight. Please. And it's a very good question. All right, now I'm going to move into the filling these shapes phase, and I have some things to say. And I had something. I was actually talking about this yesterday in my mentorship call, that when we do a piece, excuse me, when we do work where we're kind of like, have that meh feeling, or like, this is like, I finished drawing and I was really into the drawing, and I stepped back and was just kind of like, oh, this doesn't look as much like him as I would like it to. Now I see that could be like that, that could be like that. So there's something in this moment of like, meh. There is something within us that knows what we love, right? I'll put another timer on. I'll continue talking and go along with this. So we have this something within us which recognizes what we like and what we feel good about, because we see it when we see art that we love, right? So you'll be able to think of work that you really enjoy, you love looking at it, and there's something that it has that maybe in some way we may aspire to create something like that, like not to do a copy of that work, but to be able to make something that when we look at it, or maybe even when other people look at it, but we can't judge other people's experience of things, but when we look at it, we may want to think like, oh, it has some of that magic, like evasive quality. There's something beautiful to this, or powerful, or there's something like heart-wrenching, something to it that I feel when I see other people's work. And then this is definitely my experience, and I was like, I just want to make something beautiful. And then when I make stuff and I'm like, this doesn't look how I want it to look, that's something within me recognizing that there's this other ideal of that I could be aspiring to, and maybe I am to, and I am aspiring to, and I haven't met that yet. So when I sit back, I'm like, I can do better than this, and sometimes, that might be the feeling. There's something within, and it's, if you can catch that and realize that dissatisfaction is your awareness of this is not yet as I would like it to be. And maybe within that piece, it's not resolvable. Maybe it is. Maybe you can keep going. Maybe you can change things depending on how you're working, what medium you're working on. But it could also be a signal for the next piece that you do. If you can articulate what makes you feel meh about it, if you can look at it and figure out what it is you are hoping to achieve, or if there are other things, pieces of your own or pieces of other people's work that you love, that you can kind of look up to as like a guiding star of like the incredible moving potential of what pigment on paper can be. If you have those kind of things that you love, then when you have that feeling, and you can kind of be like, why, what is different? Why does this feel like that compared to the stuff that I see that I love? And it'll often be that because we look at other people's work and we love their work and we're inspired and it's amazing, and they're like the two paths, either of taking that feeling of it's not as good. There's either like just stop doing it and go learn an instrument instead or go for a walk, or realize that discontent could be like, that's because I know I want it to have more of that thing that it's missing. So that could be part of it. Shannon has a really interesting idea that, and I think it's really wonderful, and Shannon should talk about it because she talks about it so well. But when people are like, she was like, people dissing their own work is like them dissing their own children. It's something which is a product of them. Or it's like when you're being unkind to your own body, it's like, if anyone's going to give your body any love, it's got to be you. and talking down to our work is a similar kind of thing, that it's like it's something that has come from us. And I think it's tied in with that idea of like we're trying to reach to something. There is something satisfying about the image making process that we may be going for and maybe not quite reached. And it's interesting because I often find in the moment of being totally focused and doing it, and it's just like, you're in the zone making whatever you're making, and it's when you step back and you're just like, it's like there's this disconnection because when you're in it, and there's just that moment of focus and connection, and you're just observing and making decisions, moving things around, that often in that phase, it's like, that kind of dissatisfaction is not a factor. It's only when you kind of switch into the observer, or this isn't, I'm always talking from my experience. No one needs to feel like I'm generalizing for telling you what you think and what you feel. But switching into that observer mode, which is where you can start to become critical, and it's like, is there something I need to do differently here? Could that be like that? What does it need? Are the values right? Is the shape right? Like, where have I put that ear? And it may be something more intangible. Maybe there's a certain quality that we aspire to, and maybe, I think that could be something. How does that sound? How's that for an answer? I'm just going to stop the timer here and catch up with reading. Hello, Ashley. Welcome. Hello, Dylanis Dylan. That is Dylan M.I. Hi, everyone. Everybody the most. From Kelly Late Ash. Yes, I want to make something beautiful, and then focusing on what you want to resolve in the next piece is really good advice. Thanks, Dylan. You're welcome, Sabra. I tend to get stuck in the piece I don't like instead of analyzing and moving on. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, spend some time on it, and then it's like, and rather than like spending the same amount of time again and still being discontent because you've set up something which just like is irredeemable maybe, or it doesn't have that initial spurt of energy, then it's like being aware of that, and then in the next piece to be like, last time I did that and I didn't like it, so maybe I could do a little more of this next time. I think that can be a really good approach. Linda, such good advice. Why do I get that feeling? Try to improve on that later after breaking for a bit. Yeah. The compare and despair syndrome. That's a very nice way to put it. Usually just call it done and don't like it and rarely go back. Yeah, so each thing you do, if you finish something and you're like, whoa, this is really good. Like if you can figure out why you like it so much, maybe you can let that carry on into the next piece. Because it's also possible to do something and be like, this is amazing, and then you just keep going with the next ones and it doesn't have any of the quality of that one which was amazing. So if you can take a moment to be like, oh, what is it that's so, why do I like this so much? What's the good in this? What could be better? To take note of those things and then just have it working within you as you go on to the next piece. All that being very true, could a layer also be the shy desire for validation, like what you see in other people getting on their work? If it's coming from yourself, we're talking about self-validation, I think, here. So I think this is the moment before presenting anything, and that's a whole nother thing. You put it on Instagram and only 3 people see it, or it just gets like, you're hanging out for likes. That is like external validation thing, but this is like the own bit before any of that, just like, how do you feel about your own work? Like what shared about Shannon said, brilliant, yeah. Linda, do you ever come across old work and like it better after not seeing it for a while? Sabra, occasionally I do. I just went to the closet yesterday and found a bunch painting. I plan on grasping over and doing something else. Just hoeing over. All right, lots of stuff being said. Keep talking. I'm going to keep working on this. Still have 4 minutes left. So this is Inktense, so I can wet it. Hello, water, please come through. Here we go. Yeah, water. Hi, June. Welcome. So I was thinking about using a second darker color. Oh, maybe I'll draw around the shadow shapes again with the dark color, like I did with there's something I did with Frida Kahlo, where just once it was kind of done, I added some more line work around the shadow shapes, and that was pretty cool. And here there's probably a lot more information and detail within that darkness, but it's just, I love just reducing it to a block of darkness. It's so much easier as well, depending on the time frame, what we want to do. It's also nice to like go right into it. And cool. So this is really interesting because there's no white in this reference. It's all various shades of grey. But there's just so many shapes in here. It's delightful. I love this kind of reference. Just building an image through shapes alone is like so satisfying when there's so much information that you can just put all those mosaic pieces together, the puzzle pieces that then miraculously turn into the likeness of a human face or whatever it is you happen to be working on. Cool. I have a minute left with my darker color if I'm going to stick to that timeline that's self-imposed. I already really like it like this, but just intensifying some of the shadow shapes, accentuating the shadow. Like I've already made so many of the decisions, and it's just like, where can I push it a bit more? It's interesting thinking of Raghunath and bhakti and the path of devotion, and how learning to see and draw and paint can also really, it's such a wonderful meditative process that it's also like an act of devotion, and where we're focusing our energy just on honing this awareness of being able to see different values, of being able to perceive the angle at which lines intersect. It's like that sometimes there are these moments of just delighting in the shapes and the awareness of what we see, and it's just such a wonderful thing to be able to practice, and to have the ability to just sit down and be totally present with the making of something. And I think once it reaches the stage where there's the mere feeling, and there's the kind of analytical, how do I feel about this, or is it like that is then separated from that moment of connection. And I whenever we can tap into that just flow of creation, like there are these different stages, because of course it's tricky to learn this stuff, and there's like problem solving, and how do I actually deal with that, and there's like all these things going on. But there's something, if we're able to access that really wonderful flowing state of just being in the making of it, that is really quite a gift to bring that, to be in that kind of awareness. I think that's it. Pretty minimal, but I think it really makes a difference. So that was it. That was about 20 minutes with a lot of extra talking and some silence in the beginning. Did I keep the squeak? Actually asked, did I keep the squeak? Even if I wanted to get rid of it, apart from drawing, a lot of things just don't happen that quickly in my life. Saying I would like to oil the chair, and between saying and thinking that and it actually happening, there may be quite a bit of time elapsing. What else do people have to say? June says it's a miserable day, so you came here to draw. Thank you for coming here to draw. A lab-grown piece where the rules have been followed and something more organic and yours. Yeah. Sabra goes through more gesso than she cares to admit. It's unavoidable to dislike something because progression is not linear. I guess it's just as good as liking something. Yes, it is. And that thing of like, if you like something, then it's like, why do you like it? And if you don't like something, why don't you like it? And both of those can be equally informative to whatever future steps you take. And then bit by bit, if you can bring it into focus, maybe you can move more towards the things where you're like, something about that was good, I liked that. And whereas if you don't shift that into awareness, it'll be kind of hit and miss. Be kind of lucky if you're going to land with the things that you like. But if you're able to, both is a gift, to like the result and to not like the result. A different kind of attachment to Linda's. Oh, the piece, first piece from Beginning Your Journey, amazing. Art competitions we talk about so fickle. Yeah, what is like, it's determined by many factors, technical merit being a small part of it. I was just wondering about competitions. I've never entered any competition. And how can something even be judged? Utasta good night. Dylan, you wish you were happy with your pilot parallel pen as I am. The broadside works well, but the fine side usually gives you no ink. That is annoying. I wonder if it has something to do with the paper. I would try a lot. So what we're talking about with the parallel pen, this is different. But the super fine lines I get with the parallel pen, so the broadside, it's like this, it's nice. And I can just get on the corner of the pen, and that's just using the corner. And if I use the flat side, you can, within one stroke, you can go from thin, you can twist, and you can expand, all that within one stroke. So yeah, try like that, and perhaps even just getting on the corner. If the ink is flowing properly through the pen, I think it should work. I hope that helps, June. Linda loves my drawing. Thank you, Linda. I'm glad you like it. Oh yeah, if you made it all the way to the end of this, even after all of the talking that I've done since I stopped drawing, I would love you to put a drawing hand emoji in the chat so I know that you've made it to the end. And if you're watching the replay, in the comments also. Comments are very welcome. Comments apparently are really good. It's good to have comments on your videos on YouTube and to even start conversations. So it's great when you have parallel conversations in the chat. It's really good. Yeah, don't like it as much than to say you dislike it. Really, that's it. Like your children. I don't dislike my children. Just don't like that one as much at the moment because we're in the middle of a fight. But maybe this fight is going to teach me something. And I love all of you equally, and we're all connected. But sometimes it's just so hard. But that is like teaching me something, and maybe with any luck, you might learn something out of it too. But we can't. Our paintings are not going to learn anything. We're the ones doing the learning. You're also always glad once you're here. That's great, Cheryl. Linda, thank you for asking pertinent questions. That was good. Yes, watch it again and again. Share it with all your friends. Share it far and wide. The answers are here. A bientôt, mon ami Isidore Atour. Merci beaucoup. Thank you for the reference each day. You usually choose ones I would have shied away from. I challenge you. Oh, that's good. I'm happy to hear it. Yes, Ashley. Beautiful session. It felt good. Thank you for being here for it. I appreciate all of you. I would love to see your work. So I would really like you to share it, especially in the Discord server, but on Instagram, wherever you share things. If you share things, then I would love you to do so. And tag me, because I would like to see it. I will put the Discord link in the chat. Arigato. Yeah, all the awesome people. You're also awesome. Thank you for being here. I enjoy these sessions so much. Be back here again tomorrow. Let's draw again tomorrow. And see what wisdom, what brevity, what depth, what lightness awaits us tomorrow. Let's find out tomorrow. Sleep well, everyone. Rest well. Thank you for being here, and see you next time.